Okay, in the last lesson, you learned about what a thesis statement is. And so in this lesson, you're going to be able to find commonalities in evidence in order to draft body paragraph claims as well as a thesis statement. So let me just pause and show you the outline. In our informative essay outline, you remember that the thesis statement is in the introduction paragraph. And you'll also notice that the first thing in our body paragraphs are the claims. Claims state the main idea of that body paragraph. And so I'm going to show you a way to kind of work backwards. We're going to look at the evidence that we have gathered. Then we're going to go and make some claims, and from these claims we're going to craft a thesis statement. So we're kind of going from down here all the way up to a thesis statement. So here are the steps that I'm going to take, and I'll show you each one as I go along. First, I'm going to read my evidence. Second, I'm going to read my partner's evidence. And so my partner, we're going to pretend my partner's name is Bob. And so here's the evidence organizer of Bob, and here's the evidence that I collected. So first I'm going to read through my evidence. I also gathered evidence on why people migrate. All right, I think you're really going to like this because I made it all up, but work with me. So I read in Magic Mania that the Monsoon family migrated from Reno, Nevada to Saudi Arabia in the year 4025. Reno was about to burst into flames. That's a push factor, and also a magic genie popped out of the sky and granted them 3 wishes. I have another piece of evidence here about a dog named Ralph who migrated because of an evil wizard, and also LA had a protective shield around it. And the third source that I have is about a fictitious group of people called Kryptonians who migrate because of, looks like work, difficult to find there, and jobs available somewhere else. Oh, and look, plus a genie was there. Okay, I read through my evidence. Now I'm going to read through Bob's evidence, my partner's. I noticed that he has the same evidence. Looks like he read the same source about the Monsoon family and pulled out the same push and pull factors. Looks like he read a different source, which is really valuable for me because I didn't get to this one. So it sounds like in the year 5011, Americans migrated because there was a lack of food. The United States just completely lost all of their food, I don't know, and decided to migrate to a fictitious planet called Zenith, which I misspelled here, because there's a new harvest, meaning food. Oh, okay, so they left because there's no food, and they went somewhere else because there was food there. That makes sense. All right, so I just followed the first 2 steps. I read my evidence, and I read my partner's evidence. Check, check. Now, the challenging part is to find commonalities. Commonalities mean things that the evidence has in common. So we know that there's a commonality if it's supported by 2 or more. So again, commonalities, things that they have in common. So watch how I do this. First, and I'm going to take note here, commonalities, 2 or more evidence. And remember, I'm answering the question, why do people migrate? Well, I remember in reading through my essay that this genie thing popped up pretty often. Oh, look, the Monsoon family, there was a pull factor of a magic genie popped out of the sky. So I'm going to highlight that because I also see that this genie thing popped up here again. And this is also a piece of evidence that my partner found and agreed on. Magic genie, magic genie. It sounds like people migrate when genies give them 3 wishes. Oh, yeah. And so I can support that with my evidence 1 about, who was it? Here, the Monsoon family. So I'll just write the name of the people who are who migrated for this reason, and here it is the Kryptonians. Great. So there is one reason why people migrate. Okay, let's try to see if we can find another commonality. Well, here I notice that there's something about an evil wizard, but I don't see that there is any other evidence about an evil wizard. Let's see what my partner has. He has a piece of evidence about someone leaving for lack of food. And here, an evil wizard chasing Ralph the dog. Well, these are not exactly the same, but they both sound like situations that I wouldn't want to be in. So maybe I can say that people migrate because, or in order to leave situations that they don't like. And my evidence, I got it from here, the story about Ralph the dog. And my partner found that similar situation with the Americans and lack of food. Ralph the dog. Why did he migrate? Oh yeah, an evil wizard. So I'm just kind of making a note. So what I just did was I found commonalities supported by 2 or more pieces of evidence. Now I'm going to show you how easy this is. My commonalities, the things that my evidence have in common, become my body paragraph claims. Remember, a claim states the main idea of the body paragraph. And then my claims combine to create the thesis. It's a little different than how I taught you before, but I think it's much easier. So I have this list of notes. I made 2 commonalities. See? This is just my notes. And now I'm going to go to my my essay outline. I'm going to show you how easy it is to just plug this in, and bada bing, bada boom, I make a thesis statement. So my commonalities become my claims. People migrate when genies give them 3 wishes. Copy. Claim. And my second commonality, people migrate in order to leave situations that they don't like. Nice. So I have 2 body paragraph claims. And the last step is to combine these claims into a thesis statement. So it's just like this. Remember, thesis statements should answer this question, why do people migrate? So I'll start it with people migrate. And I'm just going to plug this in. When genies give them 3 wishes. And then I'm going to include a conjunction, and or. I think I'll choose or. Or to leave situations that they don't like. So I worked backwards here, but essentially the same result. I've got a well-crafted thesis statement that meets the criteria for success learned in lesson 1. Now I have 2 claims, and I can even go ahead and plop in my evidence. So this is just a quick jot of my evidence. 1 and 2. So I can remember later what I'm going to write about. And for this commonality or this claim, that evidence. So, and there you have it. And I'm going to add one more step. Claims combine to create thesis. And don't forget to include the evidence. Awesome. And so there you have it. Now, one thing that you might encounter one little problem that you might have is, well, Miss Benson, what if I can't find, that's loading too long, what if I can't find two pieces of evidence that have something in common? If that's the case, it's okay, and you may encounter that. To have two pieces of evidence is pretty advanced. If you can't find two pieces of evidence, one is fine. One is like basic. So if I just had this one piece of evidence, that's okay. I could probably get a B. But if I want to get an A, I'm going to need two. Okay? But again, it's not bad. So here are those last three steps.